Hello and welcome to our second episode of Frame Your Game in Paradise. Today we're featuring a special guest, Jay Hillford. Today Jay and I are going to teach everybody how to properly hit out of a bunker and have more success on the golf course. All right, Jay and I are in the bunker at number 18 at Paradise Canyon. And Jay, what's going on in the bunker? What's happening?
Well, several problems in the bunker. It's got to be first my alignment. I'm never sure of my alignment if I'm in the right position, and taking too much sand. I take it's inconsistencies of taking too much sand, not enough sand, and then that's affecting my distance control. So sometimes I'm just trying to get out of the bunker.
Okay.
And I'm always left with the long putt that way.
So when you hit a ball in a bunker, do you right away have some fear of like what's going to happen?
I do, yeah. And biggest fear is blading it. You know,
Sure.
if I get a little thick, I might still have a long putt, but blading is my big problem.
So a couple things right away, and you're not that much different than players and golfers that I see on a daily basis with golf lessons membership. I'll play with some new members once in a while, and I can see their sweat pouring down. I can see them tense up when they hit their ball in the bunker. It's like, oh my goodness, I got to hit this out of a bunker. And I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to let them do their thing. And sure enough, it's a chunk because they're scared to hit it long, or last time they took too much sand, so they try to pick it. Now the ball goes way over the green. So yeah, you're not that much different than anybody else. We all have to start somewhere. So I'm gonna give a starter tip here just for a sec. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna draw a line right across there. Okay. So if you just stand over here just for a sec, I'm gonna pop in here, Jay, and all we're trying to do with this line is we're trying to figure out where our bottom of our club is hitting, right? So before we get into stance and setup and alignment and all that stuff, I want the player to feel like they can actually hit the sand before this line. Okay, so this line is going to represent where a golf ball typically would be, and we want to make sure our club impact happens before this golf ball. That's essentially how the ball is launched out of a bunker, okay? So as a warm-up drill, what I like to do for most of my students is get them to do this 4 or 5 times, right? So we're going to take a swing, we're going to try to make contact before, and you're allowed to go past the line because we're following through. Right? So as you can see where my contact point is, I'm about 1 to 2 inches back behind the golf ball, right? So this is a good starter drill just to get your hands and your swing to feel where you're trying to make that impact on the ground, okay? So I'll redraw that line here for you. Okay, so let's try a couple swings, again, before changing anything. So we're gonna set up normal. Now, make sure that obviously your stance is correct. So we're gonna stand on the other side of the line because our ball position needs to be where? Where do we need a ball
inside
position?
inside
of the stance, right?
Stance, inside left.
And we'll talk about that as we go forward. So let's just see if we can get a couple good thumps on the ground first. Good. Let's move on this way. Try a couple more. Just trying to feel that sand. And as you're doing this, what are you noticing about your swing as you're turning through right now?
I think my hands are first. My hips need to be a little earlier,
Okay.
I'm kind of attacking it early with the hands.
I think you're overthinking it just a hair. I think about what speed do you feel like when you come through? Do you feel like you got some speed happening? Yeah, so one of the things is the fear is once we hit sand, the club typically stops for people.
Yeah.
One thing I like about you right now is the club isn't just stopping in the sand, it's actually following through. So you might have some issues as far as maybe some contact, but the nice thing with you is your swing is continuing forward. Okay, let's try one more for me. Okay.
Not enough sand.
Not enough sand, we'll do one more. Better, right? So a little bit of a bigger thump on that one too. And what did you notice about your finish again?
Finished full.
Yeah, it went all the way around, right? Okay, so now that we've got kind of a feel for how the club thumps the sand, what we're gonna do is we're gonna hit one. We're gonna see what happens. So we're gonna line up, you know what, we'll give you a little bit of a dust here. Okay. Now, what I like to do for practice purposes with people with issues in the bunker is I want you to visually see where that club needs to enter. So only when you practice, every time for the first couple, put a mark about 1.5 inches behind the ball. That's where we're gonna thump our spot, and let's see what happens here. Okay. So what did you feel first there?
Felt the hips go. Having that target is helpful.
Sure.
Because when you don't have that target, you have troubles finding how far behind the ball you need to hit it. So that was helpful to have that mark.
So let's try that one more time.
But I did feel confident with that mark.
So let's take the mark away because you're not allowed to use the mark in regular play. So let's see if we can put our stance where it needs to be, our setup. Okay. So pretty good
Yeah.
splash again out of the bunker. Now, what I want to ask you right now is, where do you feel the weight on your feet? When you're standing over the golf ball, do you feel more weight on your left side or more weight on your right side?
More on the left side.
And why are we doing that? What does that do for your frame?
Well, I want to anchor that left side so I stay
Good.
at the golf ball. I don't want to come back away from the ball, so
Right,
I'm
so
right
you
over
kinda-
that ball.
You kind of answered your own question now. So if we could stay anchored on our left side, that helps the center of our body stay where? Over the golf ball, right?
Yeah.
So to your point, if you're not anchored to a certain degree on that side, as you take your swing back,
Yeah.
typically your body moves with
Yeah.
it, and then how the heck are we supposed to get back down to that
It's
golf
tough
ball
to.
without swaying
Yeah.
back into it?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just do a quick recap. So as
Okay.
we set up over this golf ball, our
Okay.
ball position is going to be closer to the middle of the stance.
Okay.
I see you have it a little bit too far forward. Let's get your ball position back just a little bit.
Okay, so
Yep, absolutely.
right
A little
in
bit
there.
more to the middle there, okay? This is
Okay.
going to, again, give a little bit more of a descending attack to it.
Okay.
Okay. Now your hands are in a good spot. Now I'm
Okay.
just gonna pick, as you're standing there, I'm just gonna give you a little insight here of how you're setting up. So here's your feet, and here's our target. So if you come back here for a sec, Jay, I actually really like what you're doing right now. So you have your club face open, square to the target, and what's your body doing? It's open to the
Yeah.
left of the target.
Yeah.
Right? So you're clearing some room so your hands, and because
Yeah.
you've opened the club face, we need to open up our body.
So I'm
just a little
facing
bit.
left, but my club face is open, so it compensates to be
100%,
straight.
right? And this will help get a little bit of loft.
Yep.
Once you thump it, you're gonna get that loft out there and the ball's gonna splash out, okay?
Okay.
So I actually really like where you're at. So we've got your club face online, we've got your body slightly left to target. I like it.
Yep.
We're gonna move your ball position a little bit back because I think it's getting a little too far forward.
Yeah, yeah.
Once you start getting those thin shots happening, I think your ball creeps too far to the front of the stance.
Yeah, okay.
So I like where you're at. Let's see if
Okay.
we can make a good splash on this
Okay.
one. Good.
Nope. Nope.
Okay, so now I like the splash, but now
Yeah.
we need to figure out how to tame you down because
Yeah.
this pin isn't that far away.
No.
Okay, so here's something that a lot of people don't think about. A lot of people that I end up meeting and asking them how they dictate speed and distance is they slow their arms down, right? So if I hop
Yeah.
in just for 1 second here, Jay, I'll get you over on that side. So what I see a lot of times is, you know, say somebody has an okay setup, fine, but oh, I gotta hit a really short shot. So here's what they end up doing. They take a big long swing
Yeah,
and they
decel.
stop and
Yeah.
decel because
Yeah.
they don't wanna splash this thing out forever, right? So
Yeah.
kind of like what you did there was like, okay, I gotta make sure I get out.
Yeah.
Bang, you hit this through, but you're too far.
Yeah.
So your alternative, you typically would decel then, and now you just left
Yeah.
yourself in the bunker. Okay. So the goal, what I always try to get to is, number one, we need good structure. We need to understand that there's a formula for you to hit a bunker shot. Okay, it's a little bit different than hitting off grass. So once we understand the formula and we get our posture and everything set,
Yep.
now it's figuring out what tempo and swing and what's the engine that's actually driving this club through. And that's all based on your core rotation. Right? It's not your arms smashing down hard or soft on it. We need the club to be synced with our body, and we need to be able to dictate our speed based on how much we turn. So go ahead.
Yeah, should I open my club face up a bit? I'm swinging a bit too hard. If I open it up a bit, I can still take that same trajectory,
Great.
a little higher
Great
trajectory.
thought.
Yeah.
That goes into my next point. So as we get closer and we need to get this up quick and down quick in a short pin, we need to add some loft to this golf ball, right? We need to add some loft to this flight. So yeah, we don't want a square face for such a short shot. So we're gonna open up the face a little bit more. We're gonna open up our stance a little bit more. Now again, it still comes down to taking a consistent swing back, but figuring out what rotation speed we need to splash this out, right? So in my mind, this is about a half type of speed tempo, but with a structured swing and a proper setup. So face open, feet left. We're still gonna take about a medium length swing, but a medium speed. Right? So that came up a little bit short. I got a nice little kick and I got about a 4-footer now. But I didn't blast it over the green and I wasn't scared to just slow down. Okay, so let's hop back in there. Let's try that one more time here. Okay, so I want you to trust this. The face is gonna be open. We still wanna thump it, but you're gonna thump it at a softer pace coming through, okay? Without decelling. Beautiful. So that's probably one of the best shots I've actually seen you hit in a very long time out of the bunker, right? So how peaceful did that feel compared to that second last one that you blasted
Felt
way
good,
over?
nice and relaxed, and having the face open more. I didn't feel the need to decel.
Right.
Just
So
go right through it.
would you agree that by you not understanding kind of what your club face is allowed to do, that you probably limited your success coming out of the bunker?
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
You setting up to a short shot with a square, closed-ish club face and still trying to blast it out, you've got too much carry, you got too much happening. It's gonna fly forever.
Yeah.
So the alternative, without changing that, is what does the person do? They slow their swing down again. That's when they start decelerating and chunking. So I want the student to open that up wide, set your body up correctly, and I want you to splash this out without decel. That ball will automatically slow down based on the amount of sand that you take and the tempo you come through. Okay, Jay, I'm just gonna give this a quick rate. We're gonna explain and do a quick recap for our audience here.
Okay.
We'll try to hit one more here and we'll show the audience kind of what we're doing. So, Jay, if I'm not here now and you hit the ball in the bunker, how are you gonna approach this? Walk me through your process on what we're doing.
Okay, so I'm gonna take my stance a little bit more mid to left instead of where I was before. So come up a little bit more mid shot.
Yep.
Bring my legs out to the left. Opening the club's gonna go straight, so really open it up.
So just a quick thought here. Because we're opening the face, we have to make sure we open the body equally to the other side, correct? That's what you're thinking about now?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
So opened up.
Perfect.
And just back behind
now
the ball.
before we swing,
Whoa.
that's okay. Before we swing, what's the last key piece before we swing with your body?
So
where do we want our weight and our stableness?
So I want to be anchored on the left side, and I want to come down right over the ball, not swaying back.
Perfect.
And getting that full shot because I have my face wide open.
Good. So this is a simple little splash shot. Let's see it. I literally thought you were going to hold that out on camera on your first take, Jay. Jay, that was awesome.
Thanks, Jay.
I really appreciate you being the student here for episode 2 of Frame Your Game in Paradise. I look forward to more success with you on the golf course, and I want to hear some lower scores, man. Thanks again for watching episode 2 of Frame Your Game in Paradise Canyon. Once again, I want to thank Jay Hillford for being a special guest today. Again, definitely can't do these videos without students like this, and I think you learned something today, eh?
Sure did, absolutely, Jay. Appreciate it.
So I think going forward now, when you get into these situations, you're going to have a lot easier time trusting yourself, right? I think would be a good word. So once again, thanks very much for watching. We look forward to the next episode.